to Life Coach for the Soul. I'm your host, Kathy Morrison. The month of May has been a busy one. We've celebrated mothers, we've focused on mental health, and we've just welcomed spring. So thank you for joining me today. Today, my Coachervsation topic is emotional baggage. And of course, it's one of those things that we all have maybe at some time in our life, or maybe dealing with it or struggling with it at this time or in this moment. But we're here to address it today to find out if you think you have emotional baggage, the signs that you have emotional baggage, and some ways that we can deal with various types of emotional baggage. So welcome. It's wonderful to have you here today. Let me first say that emotional baggage is sort of a turmoil, trauma event that may have occurred in your life that affected you deeply emotionally. And it can cause various negative reactions and even cause a negative impact, on our lives going forward. So the sooner we address those type of emotional concerns, the better off we will be, and we will be able to move forward in our lives without those type of emotions or a type of past causing us to, harm our own future or just sabotage our own future or any type of happiness or joy or deliverance from those type of issues that cause the emotional baggage, which could still be, affecting us today. Emotional baggage, like I said, is something that may have occurred at any point in our lives. It could be our childhood, it could be our teenage years, our adulthood, even in our later years. It could anything can occur at any time that could cause some type of emotional trauma. So today, my topic is emotional baggage, but it's also going to be centered around no carry-on, which means we will not want anyone after today to carry on carrying their baggage because it's a heavy load to bear. And we rather see everyone walk in freedom and, just the freedom to enjoy life going forward and not have anything from our past, following us or carrying it, going forward, carrying that baggage. So let's define emotional baggage. It's any unresolved emotional turmoil caused by childhood trauma, abuse, or any negative experience from the past. And the problem is not that we have emotional baggage. Everyone does from time to time, so don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger or that you're the only one that has or has ever had emotional baggage. I believe we all have. The problem is when we will not let it go or we refuse to move forward to do what it takes to seek help to take care of it and no longer carry such a heavy load on us. And it's the way we choose to handle our emotions which can prevent, emotional baggage if we handle them properly at the time of the incident or the occurrence or the drama, whatever took place in your life. There are 6 clear signs that you or I or someone may have emotional baggage. So it's not just one category, it's several categories, and they all relate to some type of trauma or history in your past that causes the emotional trauma to you. Emotional distance is a sign of emotional baggage. For instance, you are afraid to get close to someone that you know or someone you may meet or someone you may be dating. So you kind of keep your emotions locked down or you keep them at bay from attachment. You're not quick to get attached to someone because of your fear of being hurt. And fear is also a sign of emotional baggage. So if you feel like you are afraid to get close to someone because of fear of being hurt, because you were possibly hurt in a past relationship, that can also cause you to have emotional baggage, in your life based on your history. You have issues with commitment. A lot of people don't want to commit. They just kind of want to, if it's a dating situation, they may just say, well, I want to be friends, for a while. I'm not interested right now and hooking up to the point of commitment. That, the C word is what they call it. And so if you find yourself unable or not quickly enthused about commitment, that could also be a sign of emotional baggage that you may be carrying from the past because of a previous relationship or friendship or any type of bond that was broken that caused you to lose trust in people or took away your desire to even take that chance on someone else or the next person that you may meet or choose to date, or someone who may be interested in dating you. You may just want to be friends, for long term or however long you feel comfortable preparing to get ready to overcome, that commitment issue. Another thing that we do when there's, we have emotional baggage when it comes to relationships. We do not want to date. We're not eager to date. And when we do begin a relationship or a dating friendship that would possibly lead to a relationship, we begin to compare ourselves or that person with the last person we may have dated. And it's like something that we do sometimes without thinking or realizing it. And you will ruin a friendship or relationship when you compare yourself or your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend to your previous relationship, your previous spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend. No one likes being compared. They want to prove themselves for who they are to you and not worry about matching up or lining up with the last person that you dated. So be careful not to compare yourself to anyone or compare the person you're dating to someone else. Another sign of emotional baggage is serial dating. In other words, you do not stay in one relationship. You kind of date person to person because you don't want to get attached. You're afraid to get attached. You're afraid of commitment. That's another sign of emotional baggage. It prevents you from going forward and dating consistently, having a long-term relationship or commitment because of fear, and you fear being hurt. And serial dating kind of helps you avoid that. It helps you avoid getting serious about anyone, but it also hinders anyone from getting serious about you. So be careful not to carry that baggage around. It can definitely prevent you from having future relationships and warmth and just being able to relate to someone without comparing them to someone else. So think about that and continue to just move forward and let that go. Whatever it is in your past regarding dating that prevents you from being able to start over, to start again, to be able to love again without the fear of being hurt or causing any future trauma. Another sign is that you may be paranoid about certain things. Having an incident in your life, let's say when you got betrayed by a friend or a bestie, you may be kind of cautious of getting close to people, even as a friend. Whether it's someone of the same sex or the opposite sex, it really doesn't matter. You may actually be afraid to connect with that person, and then you're paranoid that they're going to break your heart or they're going to betray you, just like the last person or the last friend. And so you're hesitant, to trust people going forward. Another sign is projection. You kind of sabotage your own friendships or relationships because you already project or expect that something bad is going to happen. They're going to disappoint you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to lie to you. They're going to deceive you. All of those things you're projecting a negative outcome without actually giving it time to grow or to expand into something more than a friend or a friendship. So it could be a relative that you don't want to get close to because you know that, that relative hurt me in the past, so I just want to distance myself and not really connect with them on that same level again. So you have to let go of the paranoia as well, because it will actually sabotage your future relationships, whether there's friend, foe, or family. Now, there are also 6 types of dysfunction. Those are 6 signs that may indicate that you may have emotional baggage. There are also various types of emotional baggage or things that can cause emotional baggage. One of the relationships that we sometimes you know, receive or end up with some type of emotional baggage is with family, whether that family is dysfunctional or not. But usually it's what I guess is considered a dysfunctional family. And I don't know any family that doesn't have some type of dysfunction. So don't think that that's a critical topic or category. It's really not. I believe that there's always going to be some type of dysfunction in every family, no matter who you're related to or who's part of your family. So the best way to, I guess, get past that, especially if it occurred in childhood, is to try and focus on the part that will make you feel better. Forgive anyone that needs to be forgiven, in your family, anyone that may have hurt you in a manner that stuck with you. It could be a word, or it could be a comment, it could be a criticism, it can be negativity, it can be an environment of consistent drama or arguing or just being, not a really peaceful or serene environment that you may have grew up in, or there was a lot of, physical abuse or a lot of verbal abuse. So we all have childhoods that have moments that we wish we could, forget. And even if we can't forget them, we should be able to let them go so that they don't carry on into our family or our children. We have to let the buck stop there so that you can have a whole new generation of people in your family, and going forward overcome those things that cause that kind of friction in your family or that kind of dysfunction. So that's very important to move forward. And there is a way to deal with that. Like I said, if you feel you are totally hurt from a past experience with your family, it could be codependency. You have a hard time being independent because of the expectations that were placed on you growing up, where the need to be together all the time or the need to do what everyone else wanted to do. And then you end up developing a guilt from that because you feel like you're not pleasing, a parent or a sibling, and you find it hard to say no in situations like that. You feel you have to just show up and you have to be present because someone in your family feels you should be there, and you don't have to be there. We have to learn to be free to say no, free to say yes, especially when it comes to a family member. Like I said, fear is involved also. That's definitely a type of emotional baggage where we fear the present, sometimes the future. We fear our past coming back to haunt us. And we have to get past that fear as well. And it's all about being brave enough to let go of the past, brave enough to move into the future. That is one of the most important things we all can do, is to let go of any past that brings us, bad memories or bad feelings or bad emotions or negative emotions or toxic emotions. We have to overcome those and move into strength and courage to move forward without holding on to anything from our past, especially related to our family. And like I said, there's guilt, so you don't want to have a guilty conscience all the time because you made a decision that was different from what was expected, or someone or your family member feels you should have made that decision. Be strong enough to make your own decisions, as long as they're not harmful to you or others or your loved ones or even anyone that you're involved with. Don't carry guilt or regret. And when it comes to regret, whatever's in the past, leave it there. You can't change it now. You can't do anything about it, but move forward and improve yourself going forward. We all have regrets. I don't know anyone that doesn't, but you don't have to let them rule your life and destroy your future or your future relationships. Anger, the A word. Okay, anger is definitely a sign of emotional baggage. especially for someone who was hurt in their past or in their past relationships. I know when I was younger, and usually if women were hurt or dumped or got broken up with by their boyfriend or their significant other, they would be angry because it's definitely devastating in any form. And when you resolve to just be angry, then you're not allowing anyone who could possibly love you get to know you. You have a wall up, and you don't allow anyone past that wall. It's like you just would rather be angry. That way you don't have to worry about, being hurt. You don't have to worry about meeting someone new, because if you're angry and it shows in your face or your behavior, then you probably won't be approached by anyone. So it can also be, a gate or wall to keep people out, and you put on a angry persona so that no one will approach you. And it's kind of a way of protecting yourself or guarding your heart, but it's also a very toxic and negative, behavior and emotion that you definitely want to get past if you want to have a future life of joy and happiness, or a future with someone who could bring you joy at this time in your life. So you definitely want to be aware of that emotion. Again, negativity is a sign of emotional baggage, where you're just negative all the time, a very critical person. No one can do anything right. You're never happy, never satisfied. Negativity will kill a friendship. It will kill a marriage. It will kill a relationship. It will kill a working relationship. You have to look for the positive in any situation, even if it's not one that you plan to be in, or a person you plan to be around. No one wants to be around someone who's negative all the time. Every time you see them, they have nothing good to say. Every time you're around them, they're complaining about something, murmuring or complaining. So try not to be a complainer, because if you're negative all the time, positive people would distance themselves to avoid confrontation with you. And the only way to deal with emotional baggage is to face it. Deal with it head on. Don't put it off to another day, or put it out of your mind just because you don't want to think about it at that time. Think of a way to permanently rid yourself of any type of emotional baggage, so that way you can move forward and have, relationships, friendships, family relationships, anything related to you being interacting with other people, whether it's by conversation or by physical presence. You have to learn to just let it go and leave it in the past. Deal with it. Seek a counselor. Seek a life coach if necessary. Just seek someone to talk to and be able to discuss your emotional baggage, be able to confront it, be willing to let it go and move forward, so that you can have a joyful life, a happy experience, a peaceful life that doesn't revolve or center around something in your past that caused the emotional baggage. So don't have any carry-on baggage today going forward. Learn to let it go, learn to move on, learn to accept others for who they are, because you can't control anyone, but you can control you and how you react to others. And you can control the time you spend around people that cause you to feel certain negativity or certain attitudes or certain anger. Avoid that. Limit your time with that person. Limit your interaction with that person, whether it's by social media, whether it's on the telephone, whether it's in person. You have control of protecting your peace. You are in charge of protecting your peace. So remember that. Think about the signs that I shared with you today. If any of those signs apply to you, consider addressing those signs and preventing them from ruining your life and the possibility of a happy relationship, a happy home, a happy marriage, a happy life. You want peace and contentment. So that's what I would advise and hope that you would seek to do today going forward. I definitely appreciate you being here. It's always a joy to share with you, to have these conversations with you. And remember, let it go. You do not have to have your bags or any baggage, heavy load. You don't have to carry on with that. No more carry-on baggage. Thank you.